All right, let's talk about the Baylor game last night. The Baylor game instead of the Gonzaga game because Baylor shocked the world and dethroned the undefeated Gonzaga team in the NCAA championship.
They dominated them, man. They made Gonzaga look bad. They dominated them.
Yeah, I mean, Renee, you've been following this thing. How impressed were you by Baylor's performance?
I was so impressed. And, so going into it, Baylor, I should say Butler from Baylor hadn't shot the ball like great. Like he was shooting 44% from the regular season. I think something like 24 in the tournament. It's called the law of averages. And I kept saying to my family, like, Butler's about to go off any minute now because he hasn't had a great game yet. And we already knew Baylor had good defense, and it just everything was clicking for Baylor last night.
Yeah, well, after they won, things went down in Texas, man. Have you seen this video of the students going wild?
Oh, my God.
On fire? Everybody in the area knew that the students were going to rage. So the Waco Fire Department actually went and kind of helped keep things under control. The local police were also there because they knew that the students were going to go crazy. They knew that stuff was going to get lit on fire. They knew that people were going to be raging, as with every national championship. And that's exactly what happened. You're seeing a big giant couch fire. You're seeing the kids going crazy. But again, there was a police presence. There was a fire department presence. And from what we're told, everything was, despite how it looks, everything was under control for the most part. Nobody got injured. Everything was fine. Everybody celebrated. And that looks like a lot of fun. I told you I was in a post-NCAA championship. It wasn't really a celebration because the University of Arizona lost in Tucson. And it was crazy. Police were, it was nuts. So I know what it's like to be in the middle of that whole thing.
Y'all were celebrating getting number 2?
I was visiting a friend who was celebrating getting
You were right.
Y'all throw a rave for second place. That's wild. That's a wild party.
I went to Arizona State.
They just want to party, Renee,
down there in that tournament. I'm telling you, we haven't.
No, but you already knew. So speaking of how they were partying after the game, the coach of Baylor, it looked like he was getting the party started. Yeah. He was yelling to Waco, telling them we got a championship. He looked like he was ready for the turn up. So yeah. I'm not surprised that the students followed suit.
I don't like Baylor as a university because of all the scandal that's gone on there over the years, but I like the players, and I don't want to take anything away from the players.
Yeah.
So I was rooting for Gonzaga because I don't like the history of Baylor, but you got to give it up for the kids. These kids played their asses off. I mean, really, really impressive. And I got to ask, do you think the fact that UCLA took Gonzaga into such deep water just a few days ago had an impact on the way that Gonzaga showed up on Monday night? Because if Gonzaga would have just manhandled, steamrolled UCLA and were able to kind of rest and, it didn't take such an emotional toll, because you could see after the game, those guys were going crazy after they beat UCLA, and it just looked like they weren't their usual full energy self.
Hard to get up again.
Is that a decent explanation, or is that a cop-out?
No, I think that's a fair explanation. And also, here's the thing, Gonzaga, this was my worst fear. So Gonzaga goes undefeated the whole season, literally didn't even have very many close games until that most recent game with UCLA. In 2009, my team was 38-0. I had one game left. I can't imagine losing your first game, and it's the championship game. So I just know the emotional toll of winning that game. Jalen Suggs was jumping doing exactly what Baylor was just doing in the pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a toll on you. It does.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, congratulations to Baylor. They played an outstanding championship game. And, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of these guys at the next level.